Have you ever heard a story so hidden, so buried, that even the people living inside it no longer recognize its depth? A story whispered through ancient riverbanks, carried by ancestral footsteps, and preserved in the dialects of villages no one ever talks about? What if I told you that one of the greatest untold truths about Nigeria is sitting quietly inside Kogi State? A truth so shocking, so historically rich, that it rewrites everything you think you know about who the Igbo people are and where they come from. Because today, you are about to discover something many historians ignored, many politicians never mention, and many Nigerians have never even imagined. The Igbo are not just visitors in Kogi State. They are indigenous, older than some kingdoms we read about in textbooks. If that shocks you, good, because by the time we're done, you will never look at the map of Nigeria the same way again.
Igbo is a different, my Igbo Igala,
yes.
The Igala people
yes.
in Kogi State,
yes.
They are different from the Igbo people in Kogi State.
So there are Igbo people in Kogi State?
Yes. Where my mom come from, she's from Igala Mela Odoru local government. But they speak Igbo in her village. Yes.
Pure Igbo that we speaking. Asusu
Igbo come and all diche.
That's a dialect.
As a dialect. And so now, you make ga water. Or you make water. Ndu bemu majeno. Asu make kem kelemun. On ga no susun kayin ma. Obukwa general Igbo bo na no. Omno na nu nkem. Nsuma kem na yasu. So baba bet on ga no. Omno wore yem na aja su for sha. I su do men. I su do men asu do in ga no. Inanu.
Oh, yeah, especially you are adding some things that is making it to be complicated.
That's what makes it a different dialect from the general Igbo.
Main language spoken in that community.
Yes.
So what kind of names do they bear?
They bear Chinasa, Ife Sinachi.
And they are Kogi natives.
Yes.
And they can put on this red cap too.
Yes. My sister bears Amogechi.
Hey.
Yes. Nkechi. My auntie's name is Nkechi.
Wow. Igbo
Kahabu.
They migrated.
Actually, yes. Maybe their forefathers married from the Igbo. You know, I said now we are from Kogi State.
Yes.
So after they created the state, they were supposed to be under Enugu because most of their markets they go to Enugu State.
Okay.
Yes, like Nsukka, Aba, like Ubagwa. Anakpagwa kandi Igbo.
What I just do they behave like Igbo people?
Yes, they behave like the Igbos. In fact, our foods are like the Igbo food. There's a food we cook in my place. They call achicha.
Okay.
Achicha. So it's like the Enugu.
I know actually that there is a long history.
Behind the stories of migrations, tribes, and kingdoms lies a deeper truth, one woven into the land itself. You see, Kogi State is not just the meeting point of Nigeria's rivers. It is also the place where the stories of the Igbo people, the Igala, the Idoma, and the Ebira intersect, blend, and sometimes disappear beneath layers of time, but some traces refuse to be erased. Let's begin where the evidence screams the loudest, Ibaji local government area. For many Nigerians, the name means nothing, but for historians, linguists, and anyone who has listened closely, Ibaji is the strongest living proof of ancient Igbo civilization in Kogi. The dialect spoken there is not similar to Igbo, it is Igbo. Not influenced, not borrowed, not created recently, inherited, passed down for centuries, preserved despite wars, kingdoms, and colonial boundaries. Villages like Onyedega, Echeno, Odeke, Uje, Akpanyo, Ala, Iyano, Ofe, Ejule, Unale, Omi, Idere, Okpoku, and Ichekeni echo with the same linguistic patterns found in Enugu's Nsukka region. Their names carry the same spirit as rural Igbo communities in the east. Their market days follow the Igbo calendar. Their funerals, their marriages, their titles, their shrines, everything is unmistakably Igbo. These are not migrants. These are not new settlers. These are people who grew from the soil of Kogi with Igbo identity rooted deep in their ancestry, but Ibaji is only one chapter of this vast story. Move into Omala and Dikina, and the picture becomes even more intriguing. Here, Igbo communities merged with Idoma and Igala populations over centuries. It wasn't conquest, it wasn't displacement, it was blending, the natural human story of coexistence. Some villages in Omala, like Bagana and Opada, trace their lineage to Arachukwu traders and Suka migrants, Their masquerades carry Igbo signatures. Their shrines bear Igbo names. In Dakina, clans in Ogbabede, Abocho, Iyale, and Ogane Uge preserve rituals and titles that tie them directly to northern Igbo origins. These were not one-time contacts. These were permanent settlements, homes, lineages, bloodlines. People who lived, married, farmed, traded, raised families, and built culture long before colonial Nigeria existed. Travel further to Lokoja, Ida, Ankpa, and you meet communities founded by Aro Igbo merchants. These traders, long before the British came, set up trading posts, spiritual centers, and settlements across the Niger-Benue confluence region. Even after some of these communities adopted Igala or Ibira language influences, their surnames, their customs, and their origin stories remained Igbo. So the biggest question is this: how did all of this get forgotten? The answer is simple: colonial mapping. When the British merged territories for administrative convenience, they folded Igbo-speaking communities into the Northern Protectorate. Later, during and after the Nigerian Civil War, many communities hid their identity for safety. But identity is not a thing you can bury. It always resurfaces, through language, through clans, through ceremonies, through memory. In Ibaji, children grow up speaking Igbo without ever being taught. In Dakina, elders recount migration stories from the Enugu and Ebonyi axis. In Lokoja, entire families carry Aro lineage names. And everywhere you look, the cultural fingerprints remain: the masquerades, the shrines, the titles, the market days, the dialects, the ancestral stories. This is not a recent phenomenon. This is not migration from the 1900s or 2000s. These are communities whose origins are older than Nigeria, older than the Sokoto Caliphate, older than colonial divisions, and older than many modern ethnic identities. The Igbo in Kogi are indigenous. Their roots run deep, deeper than politics, deeper than boundaries, deeper than historical rewriting. Identity is not something easily erased. It is spoken, it is lived, it is inherited. And in Kogi State, the Igbo identity lives, quietly, powerfully, undeniably, and yet this is only the beginning. The story of the Igbo in Kogi is not just a historical revelation. It is a living heartbeat, a reminder that identities do not disappear, no matter how maps are drawn or kingdoms rise and fall. There are still untold stories buried in the hills of Dakina. There are clans in Lokoja whose surnames open doors into Arachukwu history. There are Idoma Igbo bloodlines in Amala waiting to be rediscovered. There are rituals, festivals, shrines, and migrations that have never been captured on camera. Until now. If this journey opened your eyes, the next chapter will blow your mind. Because the lost Igbo of Kogi are not the only hidden communities in Nigeria. Across Benue, Delta, Edo, and even the far north, there are forgotten Igbo lineages whose stories have never been told. So if you want to travel deeper into the shadows of history, if you want to uncover identities buried beneath centuries, if you want to be part of this movement of rediscovery, then subscribe.